Welcome to the channel. Today, we will discuss the economy of the Netherlands in 2025. The Netherlands enters 2025 with its economy navigating a complex landscape of global uncertainties, technological transformation, and persistent structural challenges. As one of Europe's most open and trade-dependent economies, the Dutch economic story this year reflects both the nation's traditional strengths and its vulnerabilities in an increasingly fragmented world order. After weathering the inflation shock of 2022-2023 and subsequent monetary tightening by the European Central Bank, the Dutch economy is experiencing a modest recovery in 2025. Growth projections hover around 1 to 1.5%, representing a return to stability rather than exuberant expansion. This measured pace reflects the broader European economic malaise, with the Netherlands slightly outperforming many of its continental neighbors due to its diversified economic base and competitive advantages in logistics and technology. The labor market remains remarkably tight, with unemployment rates persistently low, hovering near 4%. This employment strength provides crucial support for household consumption, even as real wage growth has only recently begun to outpace inflation after 2 years of purchasing power erosion. Dutch workers are finally seeing their paychecks stretch further as inflation has cooled to more manageable levels, though many households remain cautious about their finances after the squeeze of recent years. No discussion of the Dutch economy would be complete without examining Rotterdam, Europe's largest port and a vital artery for continental commerce. In 2025, the port serves as both an economic engine and a weather vane for global trade dynamics. Container volumes have stabilized after the volatility of the pandemic years, though growth remains subdued compared to the pre-2020 era. The port's strategic importance has only intensified amid geopolitical fragmentation. As supply chains reorganize around concepts like friendshoring and nearshoring, Rotterdam has positioned itself as a crucial gateway for goods entering the European Union. The Port Authority has invested heavily in digital infrastructure and automation, maintaining the Netherlands' competitive edge in logistics even as other European ports upgrade their capabilities. Energy transition initiatives at Rotterdam represent a microcosm of the broader Dutch economic challenge. The port is attempting to transform itself into a hub for green hydrogen and sustainable fuels, requiring massive capital investment, while traditional fossil fuel revenues remain essential for current operations. This delicate balancing act between present profitability and future sustainability characterizes much of Dutch industrial policy in 2025. Perhaps no issue weighs more heavily on Dutch economic prospects than the persistent housing shortage. In 2025, this crisis continues to impose significant costs on both households and the broader economy. Home prices remain elevated, despite modest cooling from their pandemic peaks, while rental markets in major cities like Amsterdam, Utrecht, and Rotterdam remain extraordinarily tight. The housing shortage has multiple economic ramifications. It constrains labor mobility, as workers struggle to relocate for better job opportunities. It diverts household spending away from consumption and investment into housing costs, and it contributes to social tensions and political instability, creating uncertainty that can dampen business investment. The government has pledged ambitious construction targets, aiming to build 100,000 new homes annually, but execution remains challenging. Labor shortages in construction, rising material costs, regulatory complexity, and local opposition to new development all conspire to keep supply well below demand. Until this fundamental imbalance is addressed, the housing market will continue to act as a drag on Dutch economic dynamism. Despite macro headwinds, the Netherlands continues to punch above its weight in innovation and technology. The Dutch tech sector has demonstrated remarkable resilience, with Amsterdam, Eindhoven, and other cities maintaining their positions as attractive destinations for startups and scale-ups. The country's excellent digital infrastructure, multilingual workforce, and business-friendly regulatory environment continue to attract international tech companies and venture capital. The semiconductor industry, centered around ASML in Veldhoven, remains a crown jewel of Dutch industrial prowess. ASML's monopoly on extreme ultraviolet lithography machines makes it indispensable to the global chip industry, providing the Netherlands with significant economic and geopolitical leverage. In 2025, the company navigates complex export controls and geopolitical pressures while maintaining its technological edge and contributing substantially to Dutch exports and high-wage employment. Beyond semiconductors, Dutch strengths in agri-tech, fintech, and clean energy technology continue to generate economic value and export revenues. The Netherlands remains the world's second-largest agricultural exporter despite its small size, a testament to its innovations in greenhouse technology, precision farming, and agricultural logistics. The Dutch government faces difficult fiscal choices in 2025. Years of relatively prudent budgeting have left the Netherlands with lower debt levels than many European peers, providing some fiscal space. However, competing demands are intense. Defense spending must increase in response to security concerns. Healthcare and pension costs rise with an aging population. Climate adaptation and mitigation require substantial investment, and addressing the housing crisis demands public resources. The nitrogen crisis continues to impose economic costs, particularly on the agricultural sector and construction industry. Strict environmental regulations aimed at reducing nitrogen emissions have limited farming expansion and complicated building permits. While necessary for environmental protection, these measures create tension between ecological sustainability and short-term economic growth. In 2025, the government continues searching for solutions that balance environmental imperatives with economic realities. The Netherlands' energy transition accelerates in 2025, driven by both climate commitments and the imperative to reduce dependence on imported fossil fuels. Offshore wind capacity expands significantly, with the North Sea increasingly dotted with turbines. Investment in grid infrastructure, hydrogen production, and energy storage systems represents a major economic undertaking, creating jobs and investment opportunities while requiring substantial capital deployment. However, the energy transition also poses competitiveness challenges. Energy-intensive industries face higher electricity costs compared to some international competitors, raising concerns about carbon leakage and deindustrialization. The government has implemented support schemes to prevent the loss of industrial capacity, but finding the right balance between climate ambition and industrial competitiveness remains contentious. As 2025 progresses, the Dutch economy displays characteristic resilience. Its open, service-oriented structure, strong institutions, educated workforce, and innovative capacity provide solid foundations for long-term prosperity. Yet significant challenges persist: housing shortages, labor market tightness without sufficient productivity gains, geopolitical uncertainties affecting trade, and the massive capital requirements of the energy transition. The Netherlands' economic trajectory will largely depend on factors beyond its borders: the pace of European economic recovery, global trade dynamics, and geopolitical stability. Domestically, success will hinge on addressing the housing crisis, managing the nitrogen dilemma, and maintaining competitiveness while pursuing sustainability goals. The Dutch economy of 2025 is neither in crisis nor experiencing spectacular growth. Instead, it reflects a mature, wealthy nation carefully navigating a complex transition period, leveraging traditional strengths while adapting to new realities. For a small, trade-dependent country that has thrived for centuries by adapting to change, the current challenges are formidable but not insurmountable. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.